Now, welcome back to the show. I must say, let me switch it over. Let me switch it up. Hope everybody is enjoying their week as we hit the midday point. We might as well call it the weekend now. Might as well call it the weekend. I want to talk about a man that got sentenced to prison for shooting and taking the life of a rapper on I-85 in Gwinnett County. This story is a little strange. RIP to Chucky Trill. As you can see right now, guilty. Whoever's running his page has already put the post up. Guilty to the man that took his life back in 2021. Let's dive back into it. Henry County man has been sentenced to life in prison. You know how it is. There's different kinds of life. XXX Tentacion, his murderers got life. You leaving out of there in a box. I don't know the specifics of the life that this man got, but it says that he got life in prison after being convicted of taking the life of Chucky Trill. They say Corey DeTeege, also known as Chucky Trill, was visiting Atlanta back in 2021 for the NBA All-Star game. So many young artists lose their life these days that many of y'all probably don't even remember who this is or remember the situation happening. But that doesn't mean that we can't show a little grace and, and at least celebrate the justice that he got. And as we go into the story, was it really justice or not for, what happened back in 2021 when he lost his life? As DeTeege and four of his friends were leaving a nightclub in Gwinnett County, a suspect later identified as Jamesthomas, we share the same last name, opened fire on his rented SUV. DeTeege was driving the car and was the only person shot. Man, it's too many scenarios where it's like, everybody else made it out, but this person did not. DeTeege's wife told investigators that Thomas held a gruesome against her husband over a drug deal in Houston back in July 2020. She added that Thomas had been nicknamed Legz because he lost both of his legs in a train accident. So look at the fate that you were already dealt. You would think that maybe you would let it go over a little 3.5 after the fate that you lucky to be alive and living. A lot of people say that you were living a life that's worse than death when you are not able to be the man that you once were for the years prior, that you were for the years before that situation happened to you. Investigators were able to use cell phone records to show that Thomas followed DeTeege and his friends from a home in Jonesboro to two nightclubs and then along I-85 where the shooting happened. They say also they found out that there were several threats against DeTeege and Thomas's phone. Probably like, you gonna give me back whatever that you took from me, whatever deal that went wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my get back. Thomas's defense attorney said that Thomas was not present and someone else was using his car at the time. The jury rejected that defense and found him guilty of malice, murder. He was sentenced to life in prison he got life. He coming out in the box without the possibility of parole, plus another 105 years to run consecutive with his life sentence. You can't tell me that people in the government don't know about some form of extending life if they're giving people hundreds of years on top of life. Life is you coming out in a box. We're going to give you 105 more years just in case they find a way to bring people back or live forever. You're still going to be in jail. That's what they said to this man here. And if you look at the picture here, no offense to any of his family, because this man got family just like Chucky Trill had family. But you look a little nuts in your picture already. And if they're saying that his nickname was Legs because he lost his legs, I'm still trying to figure out, was he driving? Don't get me wrong. I do know there are vehicles that are all centered controlled by the gears in front of you. You can use your hands to drive. Let's not say because he had lost his legs that there was no way that he was driving the vehicle. I know they may have even tried to spin that in court like, Your Honor, my client was not driving. He doesn't have legs. Well, the vehicle he was driving shows that he was probably able to maneuver through just using his hands. And the fact that he was able to do that while also firing on the highway, taking somebody else's life is just bizarre. Totally bizarre that it came down to this. And like I said, you'll have some people that are just like, why would you take somebody's life, follow them, and do all of these different things when God has already blessed you to even get a second opportunity at life when you lost both of your legs. You could have just lost your life. Then you got other people that may say, well, N.y.a, you did mention that this is all associated with a drug transaction that transpired a year before the altercation, and that, well, if Chucky wouldn't have done whatever that he did, which we don't really know if that's true, but that's what his wife says, that Legz had a grudge against him since a transaction that didn't go the way. Like I said, you can't, they'll say, well, maybe he got his get back, like most people get in life. You know what I'm saying? You can always look at it from like, oh man, such and such happened. And this, sometimes you look at it and be like, well, if these actions wouldn't have took place, maybe this other thing wouldn't have happened. What they saying about Draymond right now, who Shaq say, like, well, nobody ever grabbed the leg, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here in this situation. But that doesn't by any means give them the right to. But I'm just saying the type of situation, the different opinions that people will put out there. But you guys give me your thoughts on this. Give rest in peace to chuckytrill. I'm putting some respect on the life because, like I said, many of y'all probably don't know who this is. You guys probably didn't even remember that it happened. But justice comes back around eventually. Like I said, XXX his murder took place over 4 or 5 years ago, and his murderers just got life. This took place over, 2 years ago, and it has come to a conclusion that this man will spend the rest of his life behind bars and won't make it out of there. Like what Ray and what said, they're gonna meet up. They're gonna meet up at the upper room. That may be the only way. Like you said, we only getting out this mug in a box. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes your crimes lead you to only making it out of this world in a box, dog. It's the N.y.a show. Let me know your thoughts on this story, and I'll see y'all next time.